they'll be out of south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And as you take a look at your 5-day forecast, you can see that roller coaster ride once again of temperatures. So as we start with Tuesday, we'll have a high of 69. Wednesday, a high of 64. As we move on to Thursday, we'll have more rain again with a high of 64. We'll have some scattered showers. And Friday and Saturday are going to be beautiful. Nothing but sunshine and not a cloud in the sky. We'll have a high of 70 Saturday. So we're going to see a rise in temperatures once again, and it's going to be a beautiful weekend. So better than this past weekend, which is all cloudy.
Great. Thanks, Tim. When we return, Kyle Kerwin will join us with sports from the weekend. And we'll also have our national and international news. Please stay tuned.
Persistent sad moods, loss of interest in ordinary things.
I want to start out by saying that I bet Kyle last week that the Vikings would take the Giants, and who won?
Well, we don't really need to discuss last week's
I think Kansas City will take tonight's football.
Think so? Well, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
Saturday at Hanson Field, Western Illinois welcomed the Sycamores from Indiana State. ISU brought one of the best defenses in the league into an important gateway matchup, but apparently Western didn't notice as the Necks tore up a once proud ISU team. Early on, though, it looked as if the Western defense would be in trouble. As we go to the highlights, there we go. It is that ISU offense, their first drive. Ben Wolf takes it from 6 yards out into the end zone, 7-0. ISU on top early, but the Necks would bounce back. Rob St. Sauver would complete 4 straight passes, hitting this one to Fabian Bones, who dives over for the score. We're all tied at 7. The cannon goes off. It would go off a lot Saturday afternoon. The very next drive, St. Sauver going to there again. This time he finds Gunnar Twiner with the diving catch down to the 1-yard line. The next play goes to Kendall McDonald around the right end and in for the score, 14-7. It was 31-7 at the half. Next leading 31-17 here. The short pass to Chris Sabino, and Sabino does the rest. Gets some nice blocking and then a few nice moves, and he would go 92 yards for the score. Just 4 yards short of a Western record, and the Necks would win at 38-17. St. Sauver 20 of 31, 304 yards passing. WIU 4-2. And how about those Bombers? They stomped Sherrard 38-7. Teal with 140 yards rushing. They clinched their first playoff berth since 1989. Teal also had 4 touchdowns in the first half to go along with that yardage. In the NFL, the Bears and the rest of the NFC Central had the week off, but the rest of the NFL went on anyway. The defending Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys squared off with the high-flying Philadelphia Eagles. Tied for the NFC East lead at 4-1, the winner would take over the league lead and establish bragging rights for the time being. The Cowboys were ready, but it was the Eagles who struck first. Randall Cunningham with a little play fake finds Herschel Walker along the sidelines, and Herschel looks like he steps out of bounds here, but it is called a touchdown, and it is 7-0 Eagles at this point. But Aikman would rally the Cowboys, hitting Scott Galbraith, who is brought down at the 10, and then just give the ball to Emmett. That's all you need to do, because you know Emmett is going to find the end zone. He does. We're all tied at 7. Aikman wasn't through, though. Next possession, he finds Alvin Harper, a wide open Alvin Harper, I might add. I think I could have made that pass. 14-7, Cowboys leading. Aikman doesn't quit. He finds the big tight end, Jay Novacek, in the end zone. 21-7 at this point. Cowboys would lead 24-7, but the Eagles would rally. James Joseph up the middle. He rumbles into the end zone, cutting the Cowboy lead to 24-13. Cowboys aren't too worried, though. Randall Cunningham with one last chance for the Eagle, rolling out to his left, fires into the end zone, but it's Larry Brown of the Cowboys ending the Eagle hopes, and a frustrated Randall Cunningham. As the Cowboys win at 24-13, Aikman had 3 touchdown passes on the day. 2 Atlanta for the Falcons and the 49ers. San Fran already up 7-0 at this point. Ironhead Hayward fumbles. It's picked up by McDonald, and McDonald would go 49 yards for the touchdown, and putting San Francisco on top 14-0. More 49er offense. Steve Young would find his favorite target, Mr. Touchdown himself, Jerry Rice, number 131 on his career, 21-0 Niners. But the best highlights of the day came right here, Neon Deion Sanders and Andre Rison. So how you doing there, Deion? I'm doing just great, Andre. How's the wife and kids? They exchanged blows to the head. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why they wear football helmets. Both of them were penalized, but neither was tossed. Deion would get the last laugh. Jeff George back to pass. Deion with the interception down the sidelines, and watch him talk a little trash to his former mate. And then, yeah, you're getting about inside the high stepping zone. There you go, into the end zone. Do a little dance for us, Deion. Nice. But I think a little bit too much dancing because he pulled a groin muscle and sat out part of the second half. Young threw 4 touchdown passes as San Francisco won. The rest of the NFL, Arizona in overtime over Washington. Pittsburgh in a boring game over Cincinnati. Indianapolis over the Bills by 10. The Jets, a touchdown winner. Johnny Johnson had 122 yards rushing. The Rams beat the Giants. Giants' 3rd straight loss on the year. San Diego over New Orleans. And the Raiders lost in overtime to Miami. Bernie Parmalee with a career-high 150 yards. Your Monday night matchup has Kansas City at Denver tonight. Don't forget about that. Denver, a 2.5-point favorite. The NBA preseason games began last Thursday without some of the big-name stars. Orlando's Anthony Hardaway ended his holdout, though, by signing a 9-year, $70 million deal. Hardaway was holding out in hopes of at least a $100 million deal, but had to settle for $70 million instead. Poor guy. Staying in the $100 million area, the Milwaukee Bucks say they won't trade or sign top draft pick Glenn Big Dog Robinson unless his demands are lowered to a much more reasonable amount, say like 70 or 80 million. And the AP Top 25 poll was released, and Penn State somehow finds themselves at the #1 slot. Well, actually, they got the most votes. That's why they are #1. With their win over Michigan this weekend, Colorado is 2nd, followed by Nebraska, Auburn, and Florida is 5th. And just a reminder tonight, Pigskin Preview immediately following our newscast with Coach Randy Ball and our host Michael McFarland. And just a few notes of congratulations here, Sasha. We had Rob St. Sauver, the Western quarterback, named the Gateway Conference Offensive Player of the Week, and Richard Big G Huddleston was Offensive Lineman Player of the Week.
Well.
So you're going to take Kansas City tonight.
I'm going to stick with them. I know that they've lost, 11 times.
11 straight times they lost at Mile High. That's why I'm going to go with Denver. I'm going to get you this week, Sasha.
I'm afraid. No, I don't think so. Well, thank you. In national news, a murderer is serving a life sentence for killing a federal witness and 3 CBS employees. He also allegedly slashed another inmate to death with a 12-inch board spiked with razor blades. Donald Nash was scheduled to be arraigned Monday in connection with another killing at a maximum security facility. Prosecutors said that Nash, a taxi driver and a construction worker, was hired to kill 2 other people in New York. Correction Services spokesman James Plateau would not comment on the motive for the attack. Authorities were investigating how Nash got the homemade weapon. 7 Cuban exiles landed in their homeland on a motorboat and killed a fisherman. Officials say they were engaging in a blatant act of terrorism. The men are believed to be members of the Florida-based paramilitary group known as the National Democratic Unity. Cuban spokesman Jose Luis Ponce demanded that the U.S. authorities crack down on paramilitary groups training in South Florida.
Make sure to tune in tonight. After the Pigskin Preview, the homecoming game will be shown at 6 o'clock. An American Bar Association report that came out today says that crimes involving guns, drugs, and juveniles are putting the crunch on the nation's courts. The bar says popular solutions like hiring more police and mandating longer prison sentences could wreck the system. Saturday's homecoming parade was filled with over 100 entries. The parade was the final event in the week-long festivities. To start the parade off on a good note, the WIU marching band stopped in front of the Alumni House and played the fight song and other songs to delight the crowd of alumni. The Macomb Marching Band was named the sweepstakes winner in the parade, and the band is directed by David Westmore. The Macomb Marching Band has won this title 8 years in a row now.
Thank you for joining us tonight on Live at 5.
I'm Dave Wohl.
And I'm Sasha Lieberg.